Hey guys, I want to do a video on giving estimates. I have lately had a lot of very repetitive type of phone calls. I mean, I always do when it comes to giving an estimate, whether it's an email, in text form, or straight call. You know, hey Bob, I was watching your YouTube videos. I was wondering if you could give me an estimate. And so then it becomes this very redundant response about all these different things, all these questions that I have to ask, all this, I need pictures, because I cannot have a conversation with you without pictures, because you're describing something in certain terms that are friendly to you but not to me, or vice versa. I might have terminology that kind of throws you. And with a picture or a couple of pictures of your current project plus the tile that I will be going back with, yeah, that's a much, much better conversation. A lot of times I don't give physical estimates. Many, many, many times I don't give physical estimates. I have worked out of state before. Obviously, I can't give a physical estimate, so there's that too. That goes back probably 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when gas got up to $5 a gallon. I quit giving physical estimates unless you paid me. If you paid me, I think it was $50. If it was $50, then I always made sure if I got the job that I discounted that $50. But if I didn't get the job, then that paid for my gas. It might have been $20. I don't recall. But anyway, I don't give physical estimates. So in order to have a phone call and talk about your job and all that stuff, I just want to go over a lot of details that would simplify the process of responding to a phone call, a text, an email, so that you as a potential customer are more on point. And I'm posting this video in hopes that going into the future, when I do get a phone call, I can just, if it comes through text or it comes through email or something like that, I can link this video to let a prospective customer know exactly what it is that I require or that I request from you. That way I don't have to keep repeating myself over and over every time I get a call or email or something like that. So I'm going to go over as simplistic as I can, and I'll probably talk a long time because that's a genetic defect of mine. But I would rather give more information than not enough. So here we go. I happen to have a GoPro selfie stick, which I never use because I'm not into myself that much. I'm not into myself that much to require a selfie stick, although this would be cool. I've never used it for my videos, but it would be cool to, attach my GoPro to that. But I'm going to use this as a pointer. So first and foremost, before anything else, I want to know how old the house is. So number one is age. Age tells me a lot of stuff. The age of the house is going to tell me if you have mortar walls, if you have mortar floors in your bathroom. It's going to tell me that you don't have pine. You have a different type of wood that turns petrified after about 30 or 40 years. You're going to have a cast iron tub. There's going to be a lot of issues going forward. So the age matters to me, as opposed to, say, you have a house that's 20 years old, and then it's much easier. And part of the age of the house, I want to know what floor it's on. So is it second floor where I'm going to be dealing with plywood, or is it a basement or concrete? So it doesn't have to be a basement. In Florida and other places, they have, single slab type construction. So I want to know the age of the house. That's number one. And that's going to get back to number 7. So 1 and 7 kind of go hand in hand, and I'll go through that in a minute. Number 2, backstory. I want to know when the house was bought. So if the age of the house, for example, right, if the age of the house is, say, let's 20 years, but you just moved in there last year or 2 years ago, I want to know the backstory. I want to know if they did a flip on the house. I want to know if you did a flip on the house when you moved in. I want to know what I don't know, right? So let's say, for example, you moved in a year ago, it was a flip, and it was a 10-year-old house, but they did a flip on it, and it's basically a new shower. And then I'm going to kind of know that maybe they just hired somebody that really didn't know how to build a shower, and then, uh-oh, we have a problem. So the backstory matters to me. Part and parcel to the backstory is number 3. When did the problem start? What is the problem, first of all, and then when did it start? So if you've been in the house, you bought it a year ago, but the problem started last month, then that becomes a little bit more problematic, because that kind of tells me, as far as the backstory, if you bought the house and it was a flip, for example, and they didn't do anything, right? They didn't do anything to the shower, and the shower is the original shower, then yes, I want to know when the problem started, right? And if there was anything that happened, if you know, installed some new glass, if you had a shower valve, you know, put in where, I don't know, you know, like a retrofit or something like that. So I want to know when the problem started. You know, a lot of times the backstory is going to tell me when the problem started, but I got to put that in there because I want to know, right? That's going to be, that information is going to tell me a lot. Number 4, who did the shower, which ties in to the backstory and ties into the problem. And sometimes the age of the house. Who did your bathroom renovation? Was it a handyman? And so again, we're not talking about a flip. We're talking about maybe you had a shower built, say, a year ago or 2 years ago. Who did this? Was this a guy that knew how to do showers? Was this a contractor, you know, a single type of contractor, or was it a company? Like, who did this? And then, of course, I want to know why they won't come back. Sometimes my customers don't want them back because they're so horrific and they had such a nightmare with them, so they don't want them to come back. But I still want to know who did it. If you tell me you did it, then yeah, that's a whole different ball of wax, because sometimes homeowners are really, really good at what they do, and sometimes they're not. So that's going to kind of matter to me. And all of this can kind of be hyphenated into probably about a 5, maybe a 10-minute conversation at the most. Number 5, make up the tile. So if we're going forward, right, let's say this is not a problem shower. Say none of this matters. Well, the age of the house would still matter. But let's say you're just sick and tired of what tile you have. Say you're the homeowner for the last 20 years and all you want to do is renovation. So the makeup of the tile, I want to know that. Regardless if we're going to do what do you call, a renovation of the shower because there's a problem, or you're just tired and sick and tired of looking at that OD green tile, you know, the puke yellow tile, the green tile from the 1970s or whatever. So what I want to know is the makeup of the tile. Is it going to be 12 by 24? Are we going to, the makeup of the tile also goes into the designs. And I didn't put that in here because this is a mouthful right here. I want to know the wall tile. I want to know how the tile ends at the walls. I want to know how the tile ends. Everywhere there's an end of a tile, there has to be something there. There has to be bullnose. There has to be Schluter strip. You know, something has to go at the end of the tile. I've had a few people that want a factory edge at the edge, right, where the two tile come together. They want a factory edge right here. And that's kind of wonky. I never advocate for that. So I want to know also what your floor tile is. So if you haven't picked out your design, none of this matters yet. Okay? So if you are just thinking, contemplating, you know, trying to price shop on labor and all that stuff, I don't even want to talk to you, because the tile makeup, number 5 is probably the most important thing out of all of this stuff, because the tile makeup and the design matters to me. What am I dealing with? What are my hands going to be touching on the wall? What am I dealing with on the floor? Is it going to be penny tile? Is it going to be hexagon? Is it a ceramic hexagon, a real thin, cheesy one? Or is it going to be a nice, girthy one that I can deal with better? What is the curb makeup going to be? Are you going to put a curb top on it? The contiguous curb tops I talk about a lot. You know, what are we going to finish out at the top? Are we going to go all the way to the ceiling? Is there going to be a niche? What's going to go in the back of the niche? What's going to frame out the niche? You know, how are we going to make this knee wall? Are we going to use Schluter on the edge of the knee wall? Or are we going to use OG pieces? OG, if you don't know, are like share rail. All of that I want to know. If you had a drawing, if you had a little SketchUp, and there is, you know, programs out there that you can like put dimensions in and it'll do a mock-up for you. SketchUp is actually one of them. So if you want to download that on your phone or whatever, put all your dimensions in there, put your tile sizes and all that stuff. The picture will tell me a lot, right? Okay, we're going to do 12 by 24. It's going to be staggered in half, or it's going to be at 1/3, or it's going to be vertical, or there's going to be a border at eye level, or there's going to be the OG at the sides, but you want to do Schluter around the niche or something like that. So the design matters and the tile matters. I cannot give you a price. I can't even give you a ballpark price until I know the makeup of the tile. What I'm working with matters because everything slows me down on a shower, right? If you were to say, for example, I want to do herringbone, and there are pieces of tile that I have to put together to make herringbone, right? As opposed to a mat. Yeah, that's going to take a lot more time and it's going to increase the price because I charge ultimately for my time. So the makeup of the tile and the design features, should have said slash design features, matter to me. Okay, and now we get to 7, and that's how that ends up going back to the problem, the backstory, and who did it and all that stuff. So if you sent me pictures, say 1, 2, 3, there's no such thing as too many pictures. If you sent me pictures of me standing as if I were standing 3 or 4 feet away from your shower, and you take a picture like that, and you take a picture if we have problems. In other words, if you're calling me because it's a problem shower and you want to rectify it, say a shower pan redo, the pictures matter. But also the pictures matter because it's going to tell me, is that the same footprint we're going to use, or are we going to make the shower bigger, etc., etc. But once I get the pictures, now the pictures also hand in hand with the makeup. So not only do I want the pictures of your current shower, right, but I also want pictures of your tile you're going to go back with. If you don't have tile to go back with, the pictures of what you currently have don't matter. These two go hand in hand. A lot of people want to do FaceTime. I don't want to give Apple any of my money, so I've never had an Apple phone, so I cannot do FaceTime. If you hit me up and you want to do video chat and show me all of this stuff, that's fine. I have no problem with that. It doesn't help me necessarily because I've done it before. I don't have FaceTime, I have Android, and Android's answer to FaceTime is called WhatsApp. So if you upload WhatsApp, upload, I always forget, WhatsApp onto your phone, yes, we could have video chat, a FaceTime conversation about all of this stuff, but honestly, the pictures usually do exactly what I want them to do. It's going to tell me a whole lot of information than you can possibly ever tell me on even video. Unless specifically I ask, hey, can we do a video chat or something like that? So that's that. Number 8, ballpark. That's the hard part. Can I give you a ballpark? If you have pictures of what you currently have and pictures of what you want to go with, the makeup of the tile that you currently have on the walls, you know, who did it doesn't matter. The problem doesn't matter if we're going to go forward. The backstory sort of kind of matters, and the age of the house definitely matters. Then I can give you a ballpark number once I have that. But don't ask me for a ballpark number on a shower build if I don't know the pictures. If I haven't seen your makeup and I haven't seen the makeup of the tile. If I don't know what the shower currently looks like and I don't know what it's going to look like, I can't possibly give you a ballpark. I can give you a roundabout number, but all of this stuff matters. It really, truly does. This helps me in a conversation. This all helps me to get to this, right? Then I can give you a ballpark. Now we get to number 9. This is very funny too. Materials. I have a lot of customers who will hit me up and they'll say, and I'm going to pay for materials. And I'm like, well, of course you are, because it's your job. But what they are talking about is the material cost. The dirty little secret about contractors, and I don't, you know, it's kind of across the board. It doesn't matter what contractor you go to, even if you go get your car fixed. They're going to be doing a markup. So if I were to go to the Toyota dealership to get, I don't know, something done on my truck, for example, the mechanic is going to go right over to the parts counter because they're kind of separate but kind of tied together. So if that part costs $56, now you're being charged $78 for that same part he just went next door for. So there's markups in construction a lot. I don't do markups. So the material, you see, the material you're going to pay for inevitably. What I do is I'll go to Home Depot, and maybe I'm the odd one out, but you know, I have a veterans card, so I get a 10% off. If I'm spending $800 in material for you, you're going to get $80 off of that just by default because, you know, I can. So the material end of it, I never get involved in. I don't upcharge the material. If the material is $856.23, you owe me $856.23. Or you give me a credit card, your Home Depot card, and I'll go purchase it off of that. Or you can reimburse me afterward, but I make nothing off of material, right? So the material, the building material, okay, now we get down to objective and subjective. So the objective material, right, that's the building material. That I have no control over. That is the marketplace. So a 2x4, if it cost $5 last month and it's $6 this month, I have no control over that. But whatever your bill is, I go out and purchase your material. I don't send you out for it because it's too specific to me for me to ever send a customer out. But I've heard of that happening before. But I don't make anything off of material. Now, I don't harbor any bad feelings toward a contractor that does, because obviously, you know, you're using my vehicle, you know, to how would I put it? You're using my labor and my vehicle to go get the material for your job. So if you were to pay me to go get the material, you know, in excess of the receipt, I'm good with that. If you kicked in an extra $50 on top of what you owed me for the material, or an extra $100, I'm good with that. But I don't ask for that, right? I kind of build that into my price structure. Okay, that's objective material. Now the subjective material, I have no idea. You decide that. If you want to spend on a grow faucet and spend, you know, $800 for a grow instead of, you know, $180 for Delta, I have no control over that. I have no control over your tile. I have no control over any of the subjective material. All the pretty stuff, what I call the pretty stuff, all that which you can see, I have no control over. So I have no idea what the subjective material will cost you. So you can't ask me that question on how much is the material. I can roundabout on the objective material, I can roundabout tell you what that material is going to cost. Roundabout $500, $600, $800, or whatever, but I cannot tell you anything about that. And I don't get discounts, right? There's no place in Metro Atlanta that gives it. Well, that's not true. There are some tile places that give discounts, but you're married to them, right? So they have a little kickback program or something. The tile shop is one of those that I hate, because they give me 5% and they give you 5% if you mention my name, and then I have to use my 5% on their material, which I don't need their material. So they can't give a cashback, kickback. That's why I don't deal with them. I just think it's kind of shisty to know that beyond the markup for a profit, you have another 10% to play with, right? Just give the customer the 10%. I don't know. That's just my opinion. So I don't get any discounts from anywhere in Metro Atlanta. Nobody offers me that. You know, even if I recommend a glass guy at the end of the job, you know, there's no kickback on the glass guy. You're welcome to go get your own glass guy. It's just that maybe I have one in my phone that I can give you right off the bat. Number 10. Start time. Okay, this is the hard part. A lot of contractors who are very busy, and let me preface this by saying, don't tear out your shower until you've hired a contractor. Because I get many calls where it's like, yeah, Bob, you know, I've already torn out my shower and I picked out my material, you know, and let me send you pictures of the material, the makeup of the tile. So when can you start? And I'm like 2 months from now? 3 months from now? Wow, that's a huge out time. Yeah, you think? Don't tear out your shower until you've hired a contractor, until you have your makeup of your tile, your design is already in place. I'm not a designer, by the way. I should have put that in there. I have way too many ideas floating around in my head through 20 plus years of doing this to ever give you an idea. Plus, I don't want that inevitably to look like, oh yeah, we can do a herringbone and then I have to charge you more. Or we can do a fish tank in the wall of your shower and then I have to charge you more. Or TV in your shower and then I have to charge you more. So I don't want that impression. So I don't want to wear the design hat. And I know there's some contractors out there that will literally meet with you for an hour or two and charge you for that design time and then charge you a different price for their labor later on. But I don't get into that. I didn't put in here demo. Because, as I said, I started to talk about how the material cost, you know, can increase. Sorry, the labor cost can increase because they're going to charge you more for material. I don't do that. I have seen it before in writing on contracts. There's one price, right? One price to demo, and then another price to build your shower. I don't get charged when I take the tire off. When they take the tire off of my rim, I don't get charged one price and then another price to put it on. So that's not me. I'll do the demo within reason. Will you save money if you do the demo? Yes, sort of. If it's a big demo, getting back to what I said, age of the house, right? It's from the 1950s or 70s or whatever, where I know there's a lot of asbestos and there's a lot of mortar buildup on the walls. Oh yeah. You know, if I'm charging you $6,500 for your job, I'll shave $500 right off the bat for you to do the demo. So I don't have to. But don't do the demo until you've already hired somebody. Anyway, what else? Yeah, so that's starting time. Warranty. No. The warranty thing is kind of weird because most contractors is gonna offer you on a warranty 1 year. 1 year warranty, and then your shower backstory started leaking a year after they left or 18 months after they left. My warranty is for life, and arguably that's about 20 years, right? So I have a lifetime warranty out all my work. My warranty is my word, because I want to know if I made a mistake on your shower, 6 months ago or a year ago, I want to know what that mistake is, because I don't want to be repetitive with that same mistake. And I am repetitive in my work. So I don't want, I did that on your job. Let me tear it out. Let me decipher, what happened. Okay, here's my mistake. And then I can rectify my mistake. So my warranty is for a lifetime. And I've never had to warranty I've never been back on a job before where I've had to kick that in. Never. It could happen, but I want to know what I did wrong. That's the main reason for my warranty, because I want to know my screw up. Not because I'm such a great guy that I'm going to offer, a lifetime warranty because, it's some type of, motto of my company or something like that. It's just what I want. That's what I would expect from anybody, right? If they're going to work on something on a house and it screws up somehow because of me, I want them to come back. And so, do unto others. But yeah, that's basically it. Quick recap, because this has gone on for almost 30 minutes. Age of house, I want to know that. Backstory, I want to know that. Problem start, I want to know who did it. Makeup of the tile, all that stuff. So this comes first. Send me pictures, okay? Before you even call me, just out of the blue, text me or email me some pictures of what you have going on, right? And the makeup of the tile that you're going to go back with. Send me those pictures first. Then we can have a discussion about all this stuff. All this stuff. And then we can get to that number somehow. And then we can get to this. Oh, start time and deposit. Sorry, I forgot the deposit. So I require 10%. 10% of whatever the price is for my labor, I require that because that's going to hold you on my calendar. I don't pencil in anything, I pen things in. So if you don't send me a 10% deposit, you're not on my calendar. And then I require half up front when I get there and half up front at the completion of the job. That's just the way I do business. There are some people that are like, well, if I'm paying for the material, then why do you need a deposit? Because I want to make sure if you bow out 2 months later or 3 months later that I've got at least $500 in my hand or $800. That is a non-refundable deposit. Yeah. Yeah, so that's about it. I hope that helps somebody. Hey, if you enjoyed that video and you learned something, consider being a Patreon member. $5, $10, $15 a month would help me greatly produce more videos. I make nothing from YouTube at all. If you're going to call me for advice, please donate $50 for 30 minutes. My link to my PayPal and my Patreon account is down below. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get immediate notifications as soon as I post videos. And thank you very much for your support.